I was 15 when I caught my murder charge. I was sent to prison when I was 16.
It's almost like you're treated as an animal.
This is the worst place for anyone to come as far as spending the rest of their life or a certain period of life because they lose so much.
I'm not acknowledged as a person with a mind. I'm just told what to do.
You're always aware of what's going on because you never know what can go on. You never know what could happen during the day.
It's horrifying to just be laying in your bed and not know what's going to happen in the next minute.
It wasn't nothing for me to see someone walking down the hallway, a dazed look in their eye. Why? Because they've been stuck and they're bleeding.
I knew that when I walked in this prison that I was walking into the rest of my life.
I wouldn't wish this place on my worst enemy.
Being locked up is one step above being dead.
At first I wanted to be a lawyer because I wanted to be a judge. But then that was in middle school. And then I started reading a lot of photography books and I wanted to be a photographer. But now it's not possible.
Daniel Gonzalez was convicted of first-degree murder and theft of property. After stabbing a man in the heart, Gonzalez stole the man's credit card and vehicle. He was sentenced to 5 years for the theft of property and 17 years for the murder.
One drug led to another, and one day led to another day, and before you know it, I was not thinking.
Growing up, I wanted to be a superstar basketball player. I was going to be a part of the WNBA. I was going to be a point guard. I was going to be the best, the most fierce point guard. That was my goals. That was my dreams, playing basketball.
Verika Robinson committed residential burglary. After breaking out a window to enter a residence, Robinson's crime was interrupted by the homeowner. The very next day, she committed the first of 2 armed bank robberies. Robinson was sentenced to 15 years for residential burglary and 17 years for 2 counts of aggravated robbery.
So yes, I'm doing well in the military. I'm doing well in college. But all the while, I'm thinking, I gotta get money, gotta get money, gotta get money. And then I accepted the thought of doing something illegal to get money, which goes against everything I've been raised to believe. Goes against everything I've been raised to believe. I was raised with it, I just didn't use it.
I remember the first time I was in high school and I was in ROTC. I seen a Marine in his full dress parade uniform. The blue and red slacks, the shirt, the white hat, the sword. Just to respect the whole outfit commanded, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to be.
Brian Turner was convicted of first-degree murder after killing a man in the street of a residential neighborhood. Turner approached the man, demanded money, and when the man refused, he shot him twice in the chest. Turner was sentenced to 35 years in prison.
I was 18 years old when I committed my crime. It wasn't necessarily a planned thing to do. It just happened. It's more spontaneous than it was this accident or nothing like that. It was spontaneous.
Growing up, I always wanted a family. I always wanted to be a mom and a wife and, you know, raise a good family and just be the mom type. You know, I wanted to raise a family like my parents were for me, and that's something that realistically won't happen for me. You know, I'll be almost 50 years old when I get out of prison, and just having kids at that age is very unlikely, so.
16-year-old Amy Williams was convicted of theft of property and first-degree murder. Williams shot her father in the back with a deer rifle in their home. She then took his wallet and vehicle, and later used his ATM card to withdraw $150 from his account. Williams was sentenced to 20 years for the theft of property and 40 years for the murder.
And it all comes down to drugs. You know, drugs, the mind frame that they put you in will lead you to go to any lengths to get drugs, and you don't even consider the people you hurt along the way. And my dad was he just got caught in the middle of my addiction.
My name is Demetria Jackson. I was convicted of first-degree murder, and I've been in prison since I was 16 years old.
Demetria Jackson was 16 years old when she and two male companions shot, beat, and then suffocated a man to death in his apartment. Jackson pled guilty to first-degree murder and was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Look at me. I'm 16. Well, I was 16. I was locked up and charged as an adult for capital murder.
On the inside and in my heart, I'm still that 16-year-old little girl, but on the outside, I have developed a wall to become the 28-year-old woman I am now. Daily, I have to remind myself that I made this choice, and my personal freedom is not mine right now.
My name's Thomas Amon. I'm serving a life sentence for first-degree murder at the Tucker unit.
Thomas Amon was 19 years old when he and another man robbed and beat to death a man whom they met in a bar. Amon pled guilty to first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison.
As I think about it now, it was those things that put me here. And so the decisions you make then will always come back on.
I am a little wiser now. Wise enough to recognize that no, I didn't know everything that I thought I knew back then. That I'm not all that I thought I was back then. I'm just another guy.
I was so afraid. I heard all these rumors about what prison life was like.
The first night in prison, it was one of the worst nights of my life as far as a teenager.
It was humiliating. We had to come in, and the first thing we did was strip completely naked.
You always hear horror stories about that they'll jump you or beat you up while you're asleep.
I don't think I slept at all. I was very paranoid and very afraid my first night.
They just throw you in this big room full of 50 women, and you don't know anybody. You have no idea what the night's gonna be like.
I didn't know if I was scared to go to sleep or if I didn't want to, and when I did, I would have nightmares about what some of the women would try to do to me, or what would happen to me if I would get hurt, if I would get stabbed, if I would get cut.
We have zero privacy.
There is no privacy. You want privacy, then you should stay at home.
The officers just look out the window and they see everything we do. Every movement we make, they watch.
When you go to use the bathroom in front of everybody, because you have toilet stalls that are lined against the wall, and that's it. That's what you get.
When you shower, you got an open face shower.
When you come down, there's about 50 other people in the same shower with you, and it's awkward.
Getting dressed, get dressed or get undressed. And if they're curious to know what you look like, if they're curious to know if you're clean or if you're not clean or how dirty you are or whatever, they're gonna stick around and they're gonna watch and they're gonna look.
It makes you feel so disgusting.
Makes you feel, I don't know, like you're being abused some sort of way or another.
There's no alone time in prison. There's always somebody there. If you want 5 minutes by yourself, you're not gonna get it. I mean, that's just how it is.
Everywhere you go, there is somebody there.
Being locked up at 16, I missed out on a whole bunch. I never had my own car. I never got my driver's license. I didn't get to graduate from high school. I didn't get to go to prom. You know, all those little things that I looked forward to as a young girl, they'll never happen for me. And those are things that you just can't go and redo.
I wake up, I do what I'm told to do. I go where I'm told to go. I'm only allowed to go so many places. Everywhere I go is designated by a line.
The first real thought of losing your freedom is sometimes being put in a cell. But whenever someone tells you to shave or to get on the other side of a yellow line or be quiet, you know, sometimes you're thinking, I'm a grown man, or I don't want to be quiet. When I first came to prison, I didn't want to go to bed sometimes when I was told to go to bed. Catch your racks. I didn't want to catch my rack.
You're not going to run anything inside. And when it's all said and done with, these people run this. They run this.
Every day coming to work at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, 13 hours a day. Every day, every day. I get off 2 days a month.
The lights come on for wake-up call at 4:30. We can't turn them back off. We don't have a light switch, and it's just a complete loss of any kind of control in our life. Some days it's hard because I don't want to work, but it's never a choice. I have to work, and if not, then I get locked up. So I don't see it as an option. I just do it.
Your friends leave you as soon as you come in here. You might think you have a few loyal friends when you get to here, but their loyalty is measured by how long they write you, if they write you at all.
When you come here, you find out who loves you and who don't. Your friends tend to go away. Friends that I was raised with, friends that I went to the service with, friends that I graduated high school with, don't write me.
And it's hard. It's hard when you don't hear from anyone out there. When you see the next guy, he gets a letter or two here and there, whether it be from a wife or a girl or children, stuff like, people like that. That contact's important. You need that.
I had one or two friends write me for about 2 years, off and on, maybe once, twice a month. Then, just like my family, it just started separating. The distance between letters got longer and longer. The next thing you know, they just quit writing. They go about their own life.
People that you think are your friends, aren't really your friends. Because when you come to prison, you find out who your friends are. People that you think will always stick beside you, but all of a sudden, they're not there anymore.
The only people I talk to is my mother and my sister. The other people don't talk to me. They don't talk to me much. They don't write. I don't have their phone numbers approved so I can call them, and they don't come to visit.
The person I miss the most is my dad. Me and my dad were very close. I was Daddy's little girl.
I miss all my family, but I miss my grandmother.
My mother. I miss my mother the most because my whole incarceration, I have not seen my mother. I buried my mother in February of last year. That was the first time I laid eyes on her.
My brothers, they're doing their own thing. They're living their life. They're not even worried about me anymore. I haven't heard from my little brother almost 2 years.
I've already been put here as punishment, but then to be isolated and abandoned by my family makes it twice as bad. People that have been locked up so long, they don't understand that the world is bigger than these walls. They don't, and they don't function. Their behavior is not normal behavior. They get so attached to prison stuff that they don't know how to function without it.
This is a whole different society inside here. And you just got to have a way of thinking that works inside here that doesn't work out there. It's just that some people are more institutionalized than others. And what's sad is some of these guys are going home. And if they don't break that mentality, a sad truth is they'll probably be right back inside here.
It's very sad to see somebody that has been locked up so long and not even care about things.
Young people that think they're invincible, you think the system is below you, you think you're so bad, you think you're so smart that you're gonna get away with everything. You think just because you come from a certain social class or economic class that the system is not gonna catch up with you, you're wrong.
You wanna play the game, there's a price to pay.
Anybody that thinks they can get away with a crime is lying to themselves.
Because one mistake you're gonna make is to do the same thing over and over and over again. Usually a person that breaks the law will keep breaking the law until the system catches up with them.
And you're gonna give back everything that you've taken.
You're always gonna get caught somewhere or another.
You think that you're invincible, and if you think that you have the right to do anything that you wanna do, life will quickly slap you with reality.
You're not doing something that people are not aware of. You're not invincible, you're not too smart.
In the end, the truth of the matter is, no matter what you do, you're gonna pay a price. If you do good, you're gonna get good back. If you wanna do bad, it's gonna come back to you.